It's time to look at another game from Bobby Fischer. In the last video, I showed you a game between Fischer and Bisgeier that went knight g5, and I called the video Fischer's fried liver, and as several people commented, the line that was played isn't actually the fried liver attack. Now, the fried liver attack goes like this. Now, not knight a5 as Bisgeier played, but knight takes d5, and here the sacrifice knight takes f7. Now, in his notes to the Bisgeier game in my 60 memorable games, Fischer comments, well, he just gives knight takes f7 as interesting. But he says d4 is so strong that knight takes d5 is practically extinct. And Fischer actually played this on a few occasions. Now, this whole line with knight g5 was quite rare for Fischer. As far as I can see from the database, he only played it a couple of times in serious games. But he did play this in quite a few simul games. And those, there are a few in the database. So I'm going to show you a game that Fischer played in a simul in Chicago in 1964. So he would have been, well, probably around about 20, but perhaps 21 years old. I don't have the exact date of this simul. So d5 and knight takes d5, and this really is a dubious move. Although one sees it occasionally, but, well, I ran this through a powerful computer and it does not approve of this. Interestingly, it thinks that knight takes f7 and d4 are round about the same strength, with perhaps d4 slightly better than knight takes f7. I think the advantage of playing d4 is that it's much easier for white to understand. Somehow the moves are just much more natural than knight takes f7 when you really have to get things absolutely precise. There's more leeway for error when you play d4. Okay, so what's the point of this? Well, first of all, let's have a quick look at the game, and I'll return to this position. So in the game, Fischer's opponent played f6, and Fischer took on e5, and this is already fantastic for white, because now the knight is threatened here. Knight takes e5 and bishop takes knight, and if this is taken, this is another game that Fischer won very quickly. Castles, well, let me see, what's the score? In fact, it's even material, but black's king is not going to get out of the centre alive. Look. Off bishop d7, rook e1, pin and win, check, and that is absolutely fatal with white taking here, and then this one is gone. So queen g6, rook takes e5. That was also Chicago in 1964. I don't know if it was the same exhibition. Anyway, in this game, c6 was played. Right, over to you. White to play. What's white's best move in this position? Cheers. White to play. Knight e6. White is a piece up. Queen takes bishop. Not advisable because of knight c7 check. If that's taken, then white is a piece up. If queen e7, well, there's a nice move here. Knight takes f8, and you just don't need to worry about these double discovered checks. The king just steps to the side and there's no danger at all. So pawn takes bishop, just castles, let that one go. White is about to take here with an overwhelming advantage. Black's king is going to suffer. So in this game, black played queen a5 check, and that's easily parried with bishop d2 because, of course, queen takes bishop. Still allows knight c7, and after queen b6, well, in the database it just says that black resigned here, because after bishop b3, white is just a piece up for nothing. So an absolute crush. So a 10-move victory for Fischer in that game, a 12-move victory in another game in the same line. Let's go back to this position. So d4. And let's look at some alternatives for black. So in those two games I've just showed you, f6 was played. Okay, what about, for example, e takes d4? Well, Fischer had this in another simul game. Again, Chicago 1964. Castles. This is less speculative than the fried liver attack. When it comes to sacrificing on f7, for example here, this is how the game went. Knight takes f7 is absolutely convincing. Okay, let's see how this one ended. So king takes f7, queen f3. So we've seen this kind of thing before. So the knight is attacked as well. And when the king is dragged into the middle, then rook e1 check is absolutely crushing. So if the king steps here, then, well, that'll be taken, among other things. So knight e5, bishop f4. Oh, what's the score? White is a piece down, but there's really no coming back from this for black. And now a wonderful move. Knight c3. This just allows the queen's rook into the game. I mean, this is fantastic fun. If pawn takes, then in fact, white can simply crash through in the middle of the board. And this is going to lead to mate. So king d6 allows queen takes knight mate. And if here bishop takes, well, basically, black's king is not going to survive this one. It is absolute carnage. In the game, black played c6. And this one came anyway. If bishop takes, then rook e1. The king just isn't going to get out of this. In the game, this was played. Fischer won't be denied. So that's a check here. Rook there, and queen a3 check is a very nice final move, and black resigned there. So that was pawn takes. What else have we got? Also bishop e7. Fischer had that a couple of times. But once again, this move is just so much stronger than the fried liver. There really isn't any doubt in this position. So white is going to take here, or would like to. So king e6, knight c3. And in this case, well, yeah, this one's attacked. If knight b4, as in the fried liver, defending this one, then castles is really crushing. There is just no way back for black there. Fischer had two games that went with bishop b4. But here, white isn't even material down. In one game, he played bishop a3 and won very quickly. In the other game, he just castled. But this one didn't last very long at all. And, well, that picks up at least a piece, and yeah, it's game over. So there we go. So as I put in the video title, you want something tastier than fried liver? Yep, that one is definitely tastier than fried liver, and it's just a lot more practical than giving the knight on f7. There really isn't any doubt in these kind of positions. It's incredibly hard for black to defend, and I think white's moves are just very natural. It's about casting quickly and just crashing through. There we go. I'm going to show you another game of Fischer's with knight g5. Again, it's from one of these simul games where he doesn't fare quite so well. Anyway, that's in the next video. Thanks for watching.